After a slow late summer and early autumn, the final months of 2025 are set to deliver a pugilistic package featuring a mix of highly anticipated title fights, major crossover events, and the rise of new superstars. From Philadelphia to Riyadh, champions will defend their thrones, legend will test their limits, and explosive styles will collide. Let's dive into the key details for these upcoming fights. The action kicks off on October 11th at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, streaming live on DAZN. This is a homecoming for the talented Jaron Boots Ennis, who makes his highly anticipated debut at the super welterweight division, a new class filled with sharks. Ennis, a former welterweight champion with a non-blemish record, is moving up in weight to chase new challenges and world titles. He faces Lima, an Angolan who has promised to come to war and present the toughest challenge of Ennis' career. The stakes are high, as this bout is a WBA title eliminator, placing the winner in a prime position to fight Abbas Barraou, the man who recently upset the undefeated Ioannis Teyes. The narrative here is clear. Can the rising star from Philly successfully conquer a new weight class and continue his path to superstardom? This heavyweight clash between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley is scheduled for October 25 at the O2 Arena in London and will be broadcast live worldwide on DAZN. The fight is promoted as All or Nothing, a fitting name, as both boxers are putting their interim world titles on the line. Parker his WBO title and Wardley his WBA strap. The stakes for this fight are extremely high, with the winner positioning themselves as the mandatory challenger for a shot at the undisputed heavyweight champion, Alexander Usyk. Parker, the former WBO champion, is on a career resurgence, including victories over Deontay Wilder and a knockout of Martin Bakole in his last fight. Wardley, undefeated and known for his punching power, is coming off a sensational knockout win over Justice Haney in June. The outcome will propel the winner to the top of the division and possibly a title shot. On October 25, Boxing World shifts to the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas for a Premier Boxing Champions pay-per-view event on Prime Video. In the main event, Bastion the Towering Inferno Fundora puts his WBC junior middleweight title on the line against the returning former unified welterweight king, Keith, one-time Thurman. This is a classic crossroads fight. Fundora, the exceptionally tall and awkward champion, looks to solidify his place at the top of the division. In his last bout, he forced contender Tim Tszyu to quit. Fundora looked much improved as he finally used his freakish height and reach to defend. If Fundora continues to make the most of his physical attributes, he could prove a difficult puzzle. The talkative Thurman, meanwhile, has promised to deliver action, but at 36 years old and with inactivity against him, can the Florida native turn back the clock against an imposing foe? For Thurman, this is a critical opportunity to reassert himself as an elite fighter and claim a world title in a second weight class. On November 8th, the Tikis Arena in Fort Worth, Texas will be rocking for a DAZN stream showdown between two explosive punchers. There, Virgil Ortiz Jr., the undefeated knockout artist, will be defending his WBC interim junior middleweight title against the seasoned and powerful southpaw, Erickson Lubin. Virgil Ortiz's last fight took place in February of 2025 against Israel Madrimov. Ortiz secured a unanimous decision victory in what is considered his career best win. This fight followed his tough battle against Sergey Boychuk in the summer of 2024, where Ortiz survived 2 knockdowns to win by a majority decision. Notably, Ortiz underwent surgery on his right hand after the Madrimov fight. Erickson Lubin's last fight was against Ardriel Holmes in May 2025. There, Lubin stopped the previously undefeated Holmes in the 11th round. This victory positioned him as a mandatory challenger for the IBF title held by Bakram Murtazaliev, though he opted for the higher-profile Ortiz fight instead. Before this, Lubin scored a career-best win against Jesus Lamos in 2023. Both fighters have faced recent tests against top competition. Ortiz is looking to continue his undefeated run and to erase his razor-close win over Boychuk. Lubin, too, is on a path to redemption after previous title fight losses to Sebastian Fundora and Jermel Charlo, while also earning a much-disputed decision over Jesus Lamos. Ortiz versus Lubin could be a firefight. Ortiz, fighting in his home state, represents the new guard of boxing. Lubin is a former title challenger who has been in with the best and possesses the skill and power to test any fighter. The winner of this high-stakes battle will not only hold the interim title, but will also position themselves for a shot at the WBC world champion, Sebastian Fundora. November 14th brings a major crossover spectacle to the Casillas Center in Miami, and it will be broadcast globally on Netflix. In a 10-round cruiserweight exhibition, social media megastar and prizefighter Jake Paul steps into the ring with one of boxing's most feared pound-for-pound punchers, Gervonta Tank Davis. The rules for this exhibition create a unique and controversial dynamic, headlined by a significant weight disparity, as the fight is set at a 195-pound weight limit. This is a major point of discussion, given that Gervonta Davis, the current WBA lightweight champion, last weighed in at 133.8 pounds, meaning there might be as much as 50 pounds in weight differential between the two men. Both fighters will use 12-ounce gloves, which are heavier than the professional standard above 147 pounds. Davis typically uses 8-ounce gloves, and Paul uses 10-ounce ones, a change that offers more protection and could slightly reduce punching power. The spectacle could prove worthwhile or become another uneventful bout like the Tyson debacle. The highly anticipated rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is scheduled for November 15, 2025 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. The second bout follows Eubank Jr.'s victory by unanimous decision in their first fight, which took place earlier this spring. The event, titled The Ring Unfinished Business, will be streamed live on DAZN pay-per-view. The action then moves to the A&B Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on November 22. Broadcast live from DAZN. In a light heavyweight title fight, the undefeated and relentless David El Monstro Benavidez will be defending his WBC light heavyweight title against the UK's Anthony the Beast from the East Yarde. David Benavidez's last fight was against David Morrell Jr. on February 1, 2025, where he won by unanimous decision. Anthony Yarde is coming off a highly competitive challenge for the unified light heavyweight titles. In his last major fight in January 2023, he faced the formidable champion Artur Beterbiev. Despite being stopped in the 8th round, Yarde performed impressively. He had success during the fight and was even ahead on 2 of the judges' scorecards at the time of the stoppage. This performance demonstrated his power, and the build matchup presents a classic box office style. The undefeated champion Benavidez against the powerful and proven challenger Yarde, who has shown he can hurt the best in the world. This is Benavidez's opportunity to make a solid statement in the light heavyweight division after subpar performances against Alexander Gvozdyk and David Morrell. The winner will firmly establish themselves as a dominant force in the light heavyweight division. Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. is the chief supporting bout to the David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde main event. The fight will take place at the A&B Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The entire Ring 4 Night of the Champions card, including Norman Jr. versus Haney, will be available to watch globally via the DAZN pay-per-view. For the champion, Brian Norman Jr., this is a high-profile opportunity to defend his WBO belt for the 3rd time since winning it in 2024. For the challenger, Devin Haney, a former undisputed lightweight champion and WBC super lightweight title holder, this is a chance to capture a world title in a 3rd weight class and reaffirm his elite standing in the sport. This is an intriguing clash between a powerful champion in Norman Jr. and a technically skilled former champion in Haney, moving up in weight. Norman Jr. has never faced anyone as skilled as Haney, while the latter has never faced anyone as powerful as Norman Jr., who will emerge the winner. 2 highly anticipated world title fights are set for the Ring 4 boxing event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on November 22nd. Card features an undisputed super flyweight unification bout between Jesse Bam Rodriguez and Fernando Pumita Martinez, as well as a battle for the vacant WBO lightweight title between Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes. Rodriguez versus Martinez pits 2 undefeated champions against each other, crowned an undisputed king at 115 pounds. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 22-0 with 15 knockouts, is the WBC and WBO champion from the US, widely considered one of the top fighters in the sport. His opponent, Argentina's Fernando Pumito Martinez, 18-0 with 9 knockouts, holds the IBF and WBA titles and is coming off a 2nd victory over future Hall of Famer Kazuto Ioka in May 2025. Clash will unify all 4 major belts in the super flyweight division. Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes will fight for the vacant WBO lightweight title. American prospect Abdullah Mason, 19-0 with 17 knockouts, brings an explosive knockout record against the UK's Sam Noakes, 17-0 with 15 knockouts, who held the British, Commonwealth and European titles. The WBO title became vacant after former champion Keyshawn Davis was stripped for missing weight. Now, Mason and Noakes fight to claim it. Roach versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz is targeted for December 6, 2025, and is expected to take place at the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas. The fight will be broadcast live through Amazon pay-per-view and will be for Cruz's interim WBC World Super Lightweight title. For Roach, this fight is about capitalizing on the momentum from his last high-profile bout, a controversial majority draw against Gervonta Tank Davis. When a planned rematch with Davis collapsed, Roach chose to climb yet another weight class to pursue a title, thus showing his determination in fighting top opposition. For Isaac Pitbull Cruz, this is another opportunity to stay in the spotlight and potentially become an important Mexican attraction. On December 27, 2025, the Night of the Samurai boxing event at the Mohammed Abdo Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, will be headlined by a super bantamweight title fight where the undisputed champion, Naoya the Monster Inoue, will defend all his titles against the undefeated Mexican challenger, Alan El Rey Picasso. This will be Inoue's first professional fight in Saudi Arabia. The champion Inoue is coming off a successful title defense on September 14th, where he secured a unanimous decision victory over former unified champion Murodjon Akhmadaliev. The win, which marked only the fourth time the powerful Inoue has been taking the distance, solidified his status as one of the top pound-for-pound boxers in the world. His challenger, Alan Picasso, last fought on July 19, 2025, winning a majority decision against Kyonosuke Kameda to maintain his own undefeated record. Will Inoue remain victorious and face fellow Japanese monster Junto Nakatani, or will Picasso derail the train? Early next year, we could have a potential welterweight showdown between Manny Pacquiao and Rolando Rolly Romero. Pacquiao has confirmed that negotiations are ongoing, with the bout likely for early 2026. The fight is a major legacy event for the 46-year-old Pacquiao, who is pursuing a historic record to become the oldest welterweight champion in history if he were to snatch Romero's WBA title. For Romero, this represents a massive opportunity to add a legendary Hall of Famer to his resume and solidify his own status. In his last bout, Pacquiao surprised the world by holding the taller and younger Mario Barrios to a draw, showing he still possesses enough speed to compete against the top welterweights. Romero, for his part, was last seen pulling an upset decision win over Ryan Garcia, a bout in which Romero dropped and shocked his famous opponent. The Pacquiao-Romero bout would pit Pacquiao's experience and still considerable speed against Romero's awkward style and concussive power. The fight could prove disastrous for Romero, as the last time he faced an older man in Ismael Barroso, he almost lost a decision before referee Tony Weeks bailed him out via ridiculous stoppage. However, the Pacquiao-Romero fight has sparked strong reactions, with many on social media predicting a brutal knockout victory for the powerful Romero. Will wisdom and pride topple power and youth? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out our Patreon page for free, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.